What is up, YouTube? In today's video, we're talking about 3 lower cap gems, and we're going to look at 1 ICO. Stay tuned for that. All of that is coming up right now. What is going on, guys? Rodney here with Crypto Bros. Welcome to today's video. I am back from a crypto sabbatical, literally disconnected from crypto for about, 2.5 weeks. Went to Europe, went to Oktoberfest, just did some things that were uncrypto related, and I didn't check any prices literally for probably 20-ish days. Now that I'm back in the game, I spent the last couple kind of days catching up, and today we're going to talk about a couple low cap gems that are on my radar that I think that are worth watching at least. I'm not saying anyone has to invest, but put them on your radar. You guys can check them out, but we'll jump into that in just a second. Before we do, though, quickly want to say thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to the channel. All that being said, guys, let's jump into the first one. So the first project we're actually going to talk about is Storm. Now, if you haven't heard of Storm, Storm is actually an application you would download on your cell phone, and they essentially reward you for completing micro tasks. Now, a micro task might be something like, hey, download this game, play it to level 7. When you do that, you will get your bounty in bolts. You can use bolts to convert into different cryptocurrencies, but it's not what we're going to be talking about here. We're actually really concerned about what has been going on with the trade volume. So if we look at the all-time chart, we can actually see, for one, it ran up all the way to 24 cents early in the year in the bull run. We're currently trading under a penny. That literally makes us a 25x, just back to the top. But what's been really interesting within the last month or so is the fact that Storm has been getting a lot of buy volume on the project itself. Early September, we see highs above $10 million, which is a lot considering this is a $35 million market cap token. And this has stayed pretty elevated over essentially the course of September here. $4 million, $6 million, $8 million, etc. So we're seeing this buy volume come in, and a lot of people are calling for a pretty large explosion on the Storm price. We're still, as we can see, consolidating at the bottom here as it just kind of moves sideways. But what I've seen from a handful of different traders is some buy calls, and this isn't necessarily for a long-term hold, but more so for a trade. Absolutely a good time to get in for a long-term hold, but this is why this one is on my radar. So again, we can see the market cap 35 million, almost 36 million within the last 24 hours, 2.3 million in trade volume. But I think we're going to see more people kind of push this, especially as some of these traders continue to call Storm Coin one of the top. The second project that I'm keeping my eye on is none other than DAV coin. You may have never heard of this project, as it is ranked 653rd in coin market cap with a market cap of $2.5 million. Very, very low. It is also fresh out of ICO and hitting exchanges at the end of August. Since then, it has actually fell below ICO prices. There was a little bit of hype involved around this project, and to just kind of give you an idea what it is, they're actually building a kind of a network or a framework for different decentralized vehicles to be able to communicate on. The interesting thing is, I actually covered this during the ICO, and I feel like they've pivoted their strengths a little bit. When I covered it before, it was very about decentralized, autonomous, or self-driving cars, drone delivery, all those different things, and it is still that, but a slight pivot. And as we can see here, blockchain-based transportation protocol enabling decentralized peer-to-peer global transportation network. Now, essentially, what they're doing is any type of vehicle can be used for some type of transportation, whether it's for a package, whether it's for a taxi service, but they're not just focused on, decentral or autonomous vehicles. If you own a fleet of 8 taxis, you could be set up, not use Uber, on DAV to use your taxi fleet and take out the middleman. So the 20% or whatever it is that would go to Uber goes directly back to you, paid in DAV tokens. They've thought a lot of this through, and they do have a solid team. The issue that I have with the project is I think it's going to be a very long road before there's any type of ROI. And as always, none of this is financial advice, but if we think about self-driving cars and all those type of things, a lot of money was pouring into that, and still does. People are out there looking to take drivers out, looking to utilize drones. These guys are kind of that connective framework, but again, I do think the road to success on a project like this, is quite a few years down the road, but definitely something to keep on your radar. Before we jump into my last pick, quickly just want to say, if we look at these projects, these are all fairly low cap coins, but the interesting thing is there is some degree of use cases. Like if we look at Storm, right? Storm is actually another app that people are on. They continue to grow their user base. Yes, DAV is fairly speculative and fairly futuristic, but as we see the amount of money that is kind of going into this autonomous or self-driving or drones, like this could be the connective piece that it needs to kind of take that next step. And the very last one is actually FuseX. Now FuseX is a pretty simple concept. I'm sure you guys have actually seen this. So they have a card that literally holds your debit cards, credit cards, cryptocurrencies, reward cards, whatever, all in the same spot. This little screen is very similar to the Cool S wallet, and these work really well. The issue that the project is having is that they have yet to distribute the card. So investors are getting fairly frustrated because they're excited about this, right? It's one card in your wallet instead of like 14. So that's a pretty cool thing. But if we're looking at where it's at, currently trading at 250 in market cap with a market cap of 15 million bucks. Trading volume fairly low at only $150,000, but we haven't really seen much from this project take off yet. Yes, out of ICO, I think it did like 3x. I think ICO price was right around 3 cents, peaked it right around 9, but at this point, man, we're trading under 2 cents. Everyone who was in on the ICO is a little bit upside down, but again, the life of this project hasn't been that long. It hasn't been trading that long, so there is potential here. The interesting thing is there's also a Fuse card. Now the Fuse card just is for credit cards and debit cards and reward cards. The FuseX actually puts cryptocurrencies on there. They do have a working project or a working product out there circulating with people using it. So again, people are excited to have this. I think once we actually get the card distributed out to the investors as well as able to buy, we could see some pretty good movement here. But again, long road, and obviously a lot depends on that. Our current market cap in the as of today is only $221 billion, so a long way to go back up to our all-time high. But as we continue to move forward, we'll see some of these smaller projects kind of gain some clout in the space. Not everything has to be an infrastructure. I think one of the next kind of moves of cryptocurrency is simplicity, right? Everybody wants to put everything on the blockchain, and I think we're going to see that for the next 5 or 10 years. There's going to be more ICOs, more people trying to utilize it, more people trying to raise money, and I get people get pissed off about that. But I think this is kind of like a baby step for adoption. So as much as everybody hates new ICOs and people trying to kind of incorporate that on there, I think we're going to continue to see that. And I actually was going to go over one more project today, but we're actually going to skip it. I'll at least tell you what it was. It is Arweave. Arweave is a super interesting project. They're dealing with like archiving the internet, blocking out censorship, all these cool things. The interesting piece here is that Arweave is not actually trading on any exchanges, yet they're very open and continually making progress in their project, but yet not trading anywhere. Investors are getting frustrated. But to wrap this thing up, I do want to jump into an ICO. I've been seeing some of my other YouTubers kind of cover this project, so we might as well see what it's about. It is called Greentoken. The website is greentoken.in. I will post all the links down below if you want to check this out. Before I jump in, I will say I really do like the idea. I'm just not fully sure on the execution of it. But anyway, let's jump in. It says the largest mining farm with free electricity. So let me at least tell you the basis of this project. They're essentially going to take garbage, sort it, process that garbage into usable green energy, electricity, but the kicker is they actually have a use case for the electricity once it is produced. And I think that is what would potentially give these guys the upper advantage, because what we're seeing lately is a lot of these green projects, right? Like, hey, we're going to do all this stuff and we're going to create all this green energy, but they don't have a use case for the green energy. So like, oh, we're going to do all the work, but then what? So if these guys produce, get the garbage, sort it, make it into energy, then they're going to use that energy to supply mining farms with electricity to do their thing. Not only that, they're going to be using kind of like the revenues for that to buy new equipment to grow their farms using the free energy. So it's a really interesting concept. We'll jump into the website in just a second, but right now, currently in pre-ICO, what I do like and what I think is refreshing is the fact that their soft cap is $100,000 and their hard cap is only $3 million. So anyway, jumping in, definitely check out this video. It's a 1-minute video that just kind of wraps up the project and exactly what they're doing. So jumping in, 100% recycling of garbage. Greentoken is a German pyrolysis reactor that recycles 100% organic waste like plastic, rubber, paper, wood, bones in synthesis gas, which is used to form electricity. Once the gas is actually formed, the remaining amounts will be transferred free of charge to the Greentoken mining farms. What I don't like here is they're not saying which mining farms they are, but it says the largest mining farm in Central Asia, a simple and understandable business for investors. We do friendly environmental things with electricity. Right here just talks about their token, but about the actual tech that's being used. What's interesting is this this pyrolysis reactor ordeal is already being used in specific like car manufacturing pieces here, but I'll just read this piece for you. It says, pyrolysis is thermal decomposition of organic matter without oxygen at high temperatures. Garbage is produced in a reactor without access to oxygen at temperatures up to 1300 degrees Celsius without throwing dioxin, furan, and heavy metals into the atmosphere. When recycling, 75% of garbage is processed into synthesis gas, 25% of residue is coke, pure carbon, which is used as fuel for industry and sold as a separate kind of raw material. Reactors are manufactured in Germany and comply with all German federal emission laws and comply with regulations on emissions of harmful substances. So application of the technology, the industrial reactors are used to produce synthesized gas in companies such as Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, Boeing, and etc. Do I think that it's right that they threw the logos on there? Not really, but I understand how that looks on the website. You can read about the tokens here and how they're going to be doing it, but the part that kind of bugs me a little bit is this revenue calculator. And we've seen these before, and I'm not saying that revenue calculators are bad. So it's saying like right now, if you spend $1,000 and buy this token in this ICO, it just kind of lets you slide and see what your income is and how you do all these different things. And I don't know how they knew this or what their projections are based off of the monthly income, but you can totally see this whole kind of progressive chart here. But to me, that looks bad, and I understand they're trying to put in confidence into these projects, whatever. Like, hey, this is what you can do, but you don't know. Like, you don't actually know. So I think this is a bad look. I get what they're trying to do, but again, you can actually see how this. Let's just click this, see how it goes here. Right back to the website. Right back to the website. So anyway, just keep an eye out for that. Again, I like the idea. The implementation of some of these is going to be the tough part for a lot of these projects, but getting down to the roadmap again, really new project, Q2 2017. What I will say I think their strength is right now is their team. If we look at kind of the experience that these guys have, a lot of these guys were already in the energy sector, are CEOs, or managers, are engineers in this space. So I think the crappy thing is, like, I don't know who any of these people are, right? And if you check out their LinkedIn, they're fairly impressive on what they have done. But I think their strength lies here, and especially like when we're looking at like the age of these people. This isn't like when you see some young kids jump in, like, hey, it's this 24-year-old kid who had this great idea about X, Y, and Z. These are dudes who have spent like literally like this dude right here from 1989 to 95. He headed engineering firm Sodus, which is a part of the group of companies in High Tech Invest. So again, what we're seeing here are people who have experience in the space, and it doesn't look like it was any type of like throw together crowd of young kids. And I'm not saying anything about some of these younger teams, but when we look at the experience these guys have in the space, that gives some degree of confidence in the actual project itself. So definitely worth looking into. Again, nothing I've said here is financial advice. I'm not investing in this ICO myself. Have seen it popping up quite a bit all over the place lately from a couple other YouTubers, but it is it's pretty cool, man. I like the idea. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. Pretty casual video, I'll say. Really just kind of diving back in. Definitely open to hearing your coin. If you made it this far, thank you, but I'm definitely into hearing what you guys want for coin reviews. I'll be spending some research. I'm actually moving a week from yesterday. I'm actually moving near BitBoy. I'm hoping to connect with him. But I'm moving, so it could be a little hit or miss with the videos in the upcoming weeks. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, leave some comments below on some projects you want reviewed. I literally write every single one down, and if I think they're worthwhile and other people are interested too, I almost always do those reviews. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hang in there, and I will check you guys later.